Hey everybody.
Sean and Kelly here, Price and Price Group of Samson Properties, and what are we about to talk about?
It's time for this week's Market Snapshot.
That's right, what's happened in the Northern Virginia real estate market in the last 7 days in close to under 5 minutes. Here we go. All right, so it's time. This week's Market Snapshot is going to be a little bit special because we do have the September month-over-month numbers, so we'll go into that as well to give you not only the minutia, drawn in, double-clicked, detailed, real-time market snapshot view, but also the bird's eye, big scale, big picture, monthly. All right, so let's dive into this. Ready?
Okay. Yes. This top graph you're looking at, the black squiggly line, that's the which activity?
That's buyer activity.
That's the buyer activity. They're starting to do this, so I'm like, wait a minute, what am I looking at? Okay, that's the number of homes that have gone under contract and are now off the market, right?
Yep.
Someone got an accepted offer.
Yep.
The teal line, that is the seller activity. That's how many new homes have been listed on the market in the last 7 days.
That's right. That's right. So an important fact to put an important fact to point out is that everybody's been hearing about the increased inventory, and we even just said that on our last
20
video.
to 30%.
Yeah, that's right. So if you look, this is the inventory, this teal line. So this number, if you go back to this time last year, that's correct. It is higher because it was down here. Now it's up here. So that is true. But now let's look at buyer demand. Here's the buyer activity right now, and here is where it would have been versus last year. So not only is inventory up, but buyer activity is up. So that's why when you hear the media or you hear people talking about that, how inventory is so much higher and everybody starts freaking out thinking prices are coming down, they're leaving out the other side of the picture of the buyer demand.
No, we're talking about our area.
Yeah, we're talking about our area.
We're not talking about nationally or Florida
you
or
want to talk
Texas.
about Austin, Texas? Austin, Texas is crashing like crazy.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
it's
And
crazy.
they're even getting rid of all the nut oils. Thank you, Austin.
Yeah, man, that's going to increase demand. I know we moved there. Well, not really,
No.
but. All right, so demand, this is the buyer activity. Supply, this is the inventory that came on the market, and you can see that the buyer activity remains stronger than the supply this last 7 days, which means that if we go down here to our buyer's market versus seller's market, the gray line in the middle, that's a good neutral market.
Yeah.
Anything above is a seller's market, anything below is a buyer's market, and you'll see that we are still in that seller's market. It's only a slight seller's market.
Not like we were used to forever ago that we've all got PTSD over.
That's right. That's right. And if you look at this versus last year, it's just slightly below what it was last year because it's created by the gap, the difference between supply versus demand.
Right.
But what does this mean for buyers? So we're able to actually look at contract trends right now. The title company that we work with, largest title company in the DMV, collects the data of the real-time last week's status or stats. And so these are 161 contracts that came in last week. You'll see that still 27% of properties in Virginia are going over asking price. 40% are going at list price. So still 67% of properties are going at or above listing price.
And I'm glad you're bringing this up because I didn't really hit on this in one of the posts I did. But that 33%, it's like, a third of them are going under ask, and I want you to be really thoughtful whenever you draw your conclusion from that, and that is from the homes that have been overpriced.
That's right.
Right, for whatever reason, it can be
condition,
so many different things, right? But that's what that is, because the prices are still going up.
Yeah,
in our
prices
area,
are still going up, which we're going to go into in the month of, we're going to go into the details on that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but just take that with a grain of salt.
Absolutely.
33 under.
Yep. And properties that sold in 0 to 7 days were 31%, in 8 to 21 days, 33%. So this is 64% of properties sold within the first 21 days, and we have 67% of properties went at or above listing price. So if it's on that market for those first 21 days, buyers, be prepared, you're going to have to pay at least listing price.
Yeah.
And sellers, you need to be prepared if you go over the 21 days, you're probably overpriced. You're going to start coming
Well, and
into
let's
issues.
take a look. That third that took over 22 days kind of matches the third that went lower list.
That's right. That's
you know, so those are going to turn over the next month and
So,
week, right? This is a weekly trend.
What that says is sellers, you've got to price appropriately.
Come on.
Buyers.
We need to send this to this one seller of ours.
Buyers, When you're looking at properties, I know you're hearing all the rumors, but you've really got to be realistic with the fact that you're probably going to have to go in at asking price, unless it's one of these other properties, and your agent can help walk you through how overpriced that property
Your
is.
agent should know, hey, this is overpriced,
That's right.
it's gonna go under.
That's right.
Or not.
Absolutely. Virginia, about 14% of sales were cash sales, the rest were financed. Now
That's a
here's
big difference in what it was.
Yeah. Here is the important factor, okay? It's not necessarily the finance contingency. It's still 3/4 of contracts are getting them, which is
Right.
good because they weren't back in the heyday. Still about 75 to 80% are getting the appraisal contingency. Again, that's been pretty consistent over the last 6 weeks or so. But look at this on the inspection contingency, 75% got it.
And I'm shocked about West Virginia. I don't know anything about West Virginia.
I'm
I just
shocked
wanna
about that
put
as
that
well.
out there, but
Yeah.
I'm very surprised. Like, I don't know what that's all about. Is it a barn?
they typically all have like the
I don't know. We've
Yeah.
got some really amazing West Virginia agents with Samson that we could put you with if you need to work with them. I don't know that market, but I'd love to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. So for buyers, this means that you may face a little bit of competition, but it's becoming more common than not for you to actually get your contingencies and get your protections in the contract. Right. So it's really important. So sellers, yes, you can still get top market value. We just did a whole video on this. Buyers, it's a fantastic time. If you plan on buying and you're determined to buy and you're not concerned about the government shutdown and so on, honestly, now's the time, because there are some buyers that have had to pull back to wait to see how long the shutdown lasts, so it's even more of an opportunity.
Yeah, and just let me make a quick point. If you are a VA buyer, VA as in veteran, not Virginia, and you're worried that your loan isn't going to work out or go through or whatever because of the whole government shutdown thing, get in touch with us, because there are really currently only a couple of little considerations to keep in mind on that, but we're still getting VA loans under contract, they're still closing and all of that, but it is worth a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if you guys have any questions,
that's my lender hat.
Lender hat, that's right. If you have any questions about the lending side or the market side, reach out to us. The number is 703-783-2143. That's right. All right, we'll see you guys on next week's Snapshot. Now we're going to dive into the month over month. Okay, so here we go with these the month over month stats. And again, the reason we do this is because this gives us a bird's eye picture of where the market is trending versus our weekly snapshot tells you how to react day to day. So the first thing we want to look at is the number of new listings. They were up actually 14%, which we are seeing increased inventory. So up 14% over September of 2024. So that's 1277 versus 1115. Number of sales were up 5%. So buyer activity did increase, but inventory increased more, which caused a little bit of that buyer opportunity.
Wait, what?
So,
can you say that again to me?
So the number of sales were up 5% over September of 2024.
Yeah, but the listings were up 14%.
Right. So that's what is giving the buyers the opportunity.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Days on market. So we are still sitting within that 30-day days on market. We're at 27. The properties are sitting a little bit longer because buyers do have more options. So it's 7 days over what it was in September of 2024. Months of inventory, this is how you really establish if it's a seller's market or a buyer's market. Anything 5 to 6 months is considered a normal market. 6 months or above is a buyer's market. 5 months and below is considered a seller's market, and we are sitting at 3 months. Now, in September of last year, we were also sitting at 3 months. So we stayed even there. It's just a little bit slower, and buyers have a little bit more opportunity.
Which is good.
Yep. Now, this is the number everybody always wants to know, but we got to give you a caveat here. So the median sales price went down 1.4%.
Oh my gosh,
versus
how is it we can
2024.
say prices are still going up when the median price went down?
That's right.
Please
that's right.
tell us.
Well, I will explain it. So, first of all, every other month previously, the prices were up. But
the median prices?
Yeah, the median prices were up. And overall, year over year, the sales prices are up. But let's look at what the median sales price is. So the median sales price, I haven't done this for a while, it's my favorite example.
I love it when you do this. It's one of my favorite things.
So the median sales price is defined as the number that falls right in the middle of all the sales prices that happened. So statistically, this is good because you don't get skewed by really high sales or really low sales. It just kind of indicates what's in the middle. So it's a good measuring stick, but you have to understand what it's measuring. It's not measuring home value, it's measuring what the price is that the property sold for. So for example, month one, 3 million, you can see down to 1.5 million, and then 500,000 down to 220,000. The median sales price, the number that falls in the middle of month one, is $500,000. Month two, you got 4.25 million down to 2.5. Notice all of these numbers are higher than this numbers. You've got 400,000 is the median sales price, and you've got 395 to 315. Notice all of these numbers are higher than these numbers, but the middle number is 400,000. So if you
and
look,
that happens sometimes.
it does. It happened last
a
month.
lot, yeah.
So if you look at what that middle number was, and you were running all of your analysis based on that alone, you would say that house prices dropped 20%, even though we can see that that's not the case. So median sales price indicates what's happening in the market, but it doesn't indicate value of the property. It doesn't mean you can now buy a $500,000 property for $400,000.
Right.
So the way you really determine that is you look at property specific when you are out searching. So for example, there are some condos where prices are coming down.
That's true.
There are some neighborhoods where prices are going up 10 to 15% year over year. So it's really property specific. The market itself is not declining.
Right.
Do not jump on
Not
the
here.
bandwagon of thinking
Northern
it's about to
Virginia,
crash.
DMV,
Yeah, you're in Northern Virginia. All right, so that's it. That's the month over month. So we are still trending with that 3-month absorption rate in a seller's market, but it is a calmer seller's market, so it's
Yeah.
really good for buyers.
What was the worst we got to in 2020? Do you remember?
As
The
far as like
absorption
the
rate?
like 2.
Was it 2 was the worst? I
lowest
thought
I've
we had
seen.
gotten down
To 1.
I thought we had.
I don't remember seeing 1, but 2 is usually the lowest.
Or maybe it was like the big fear.
Yeah, could be.
Okay.
Okay. All right. If you have any questions about this or anything else, give us a call at 703-783.
2143.
And we'll see you guys on next month's Market Report.
Report.
Report.